Is an avatar under the bondage of karma? Is an avatar, like us common people, also forced to take birth in order to work out his or her past karmas? Some people still have this lingering doubt, so let us listen in to the answers that two adept sages of Vedanta have given, as well as what has been stated in the Bhagavad Gita. The first sage whose answer we shall visit is Swami Sivananda, who was a God realized rishi. In his book Self Knowledge, Swami Sivananda has put forth the following explanation regarding avatars and their past karma. Sometimes, writes Swami Sivananda, the king chooses to visit the jail and enters the cell of a prisoner to see how matters are getting on in the prison. He does this for the good of the prisoners. He is quite independent, and yet out of his own free will he himself enters the cell. Even so, an avatar puts on a fleshy body out of his own free will for the ascent of man, meaning for the purpose of helping mankind ascend to a higher consciousness. The avatar is quite independent and has absolute control over the jail of Maya like the king, while the jiva, that is the ordinary person, is a prisoner and a slave of ignorance or avidya, because he has yet to attain to self-realization, also known as God realization. So an avatar, as Swami Sivananda has explained, descends into the world purely out of his own choice, driven by the compassion to help humanity. Swami Turyananda, another yogi and direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, has also stated the same fact. His explanation can be found in the book Spiritual Talks by the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Turyananda writes that the Adhikarika Purushas, the prophets and the incarnations that are born to uplift the world, have not to suffer the bondage of karma. Their incarnation is not due to their past actions, but due to the will of God that they may serve mankind. So there we have it. Avatars do not take birth under the compulsion of the law of karma, but instead choose to be born out of their own free will. And this truth is also corroborated by the Gita in its famous teaching of Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata, which means that whenever religion declines and wickedness prevails, I, meaning I the divine, take birth in the form of the avatar to once again establish righteousness and to show people the path to ascend to a higher consciousness. Thus the Gita clearly tells us that the avatar makes an informed choice, an informed decision as to when and where he or she should take birth in order to correct the course of humanity. If on the other hand the avatar was under the sway of the law of karma, then he could not choose the time and place of his birth. He could not choose to take birth specifically in those times when immorality prevailed in the world. The law of karma would prevent him from making this choice because it would force him to be born only under those conditions which are suitable for the working out of his past karmas. The avatar then would not have the freedom to help the world. Thus, avatars are not under the control of the law of karma, but are instead beyond it. Now, Swami Turyananda, in the same book Spiritual Talks, goes on to highlight one more interesting fact about avatars. He does so indirectly by explaining a fascinating attribute of Jivan Muktas, or the living free. The Jivan Muktas are those people who, after putting in strenuous effort, have attained to God realization or samadhi in their current life. When such a Jivan Mukta is born, he is born under the influence of the law of karma. But the moment he attains to samadhi, he overcomes the law of karma and becomes united with God. Now, in comparison to the Jivan Mukta, the avatar is not born under the influence of the law of karma, but is instead born free, having wiped out all his past karmas when he first attained to samadhi many lifetimes ago. Now, about the Jivan Mukta, Swami Turyananda has written that the Jivan Muktas, the living free, are all powerful. It is true that the Brahma Sutras have stipulated that they cannot create or destroy the world. But it is not that they lack the power to create, etc. They simply don't want to create. Possession of all powers is an essential condition for the attainment of mukti. So this is the kind of incredible power that a Jivan Mukta acquires once he attains to samadhi. And the avatar, having attained to samadhi many lifetimes ago, also possesses the same power. So to summarize, avatars are not bound by the law of karma. They are born free and take birth out of their own free will. Being one and the same as God, avatars are the rulers and the masters of the law of karma. All yogic powers are at the disposal of avatars and they can create and destroy the universe at a mere will. It is just that they choose not to exercise this will but instead work to uplift humanity by staying within the limitations of the spiritual laws which govern the world. Now, if you wish to discover some rational reasons why avatars choose to work within the boundaries of the spiritual laws such as the law of karma and also choose not to make unnecessary displays of their superpowers, then do watch the earlier video, Why did Sri Ramakrishna not use his yogic powers to cure his cancer? And if you wish to gather more insight into the spiritual teachings of Advaita Vedanta, do visit the Spiritual Bee blog at www.spiritualbee.com. Thanks for watching and we shall meet again in the next video.